Thank you for joining me on the Creating Resilience video series. This is number 24. In this video, we're going to talk about some more work up in the competency part of our brain and the upper branches of the collective well-being. We're going to be talking about self-identity. Self-identity is formed in us because we internalize the typical interactions and responses of people around us. If we're having routine rejection or people are ignoring us, if there's a lot of negativity thrown at us in our lives, we begin to have a negative sense of ourselves and we begin to feel unworthy and unlovable. But if we have routine praise and we have a lot of affection and connection, then we begin to feel a sense of worth and that we can be loved. Our self-identity is really very important, and you can see that it would be tied to our emotions as well. When we build a sense of self, there's 4 different parts that the ARC framework researchers looked at. They looked at the unique self, the positive self, the coherent self, and the future self. We'll be explaining these, but all these 4 pieces come together to create our own identity in our mind of who we think we are and where we're going in life. So the unique sense of self is basically that we do understand that everybody is alike, but everybody is very different. And if we're going to strengthen our unique self-identity, then we're going to be able to identify the things that we like and we don't like. And it might be that that's different from other people that we live with or work with. We're also going to be able to identify all of our interests that we have. Again, I have interests that my husband doesn't have, and we lived together very well for 36 years. So it makes me unique in that relationship that I might have something or he might have something that I don't really like or are interested in. Also, our culture and our ethnic experiences make us unique. Nobody was brought up exactly the same way, even if you're brought up in the same house. Our experiences, our perception, and our emotions make us unique, no matter whether it's in a culture or a neighborhood, it's all unique to us. Stop and think about what makes you really distinct or different from the people in your family and the people that you live with and the people that you work with. Being able to understand that our uniqueness is a strength as well. Positive self-identity really means that we have a positive sense of self, that we believe that we are a worthy person, that we're a lovable person, that we can get through hard times. And if we're going to strengthen our positive self-identity or that of somebody else, we want to make sure that we praise our own success or praise somebody else's. So you might have to praise yourself for a while and say, you know what, I'm working really hard at this. I'm going to praise you if you're video number 24 with me, that you've been working really hard with me. So you may as well praise that in yourself and have some positive self-identity. Something like saying, I have consistently participated in meetings at work, or I have consistently watched these videos and done the reflection and the action steps. And then recognize your own strengths and recognize the strengths in others. I'm increasing my ability to communicate really well. Or I found out I have a real artistic flair. Be able to state what makes you unique, but also the positive things that you can share with yourself and other people. Having a coherent self means really that you're able to see that there are all these different parts that make you up with who you are. So we all have different experiences in life, and we have different times at life, different roles that we might have, different emotions we might have. So when you strengthen your coherent identity, you're really recognizing that multiple roles are very normal and that the way that you respond or react in different experiences and at different times in your life, it's very normal. We not only have a lot of different roles in our life that combined make us who we are, but we also have to understand that the way that we relate to other people and the way that we experience lots of different emotions, that's also part of our coherent self. That we might experience 3 or 4 different emotions in one entity with one person. And that's part of being a coherent self. It's okay. It's normal. That's what life is. A future self simply means that you see a future for yourself. You are not in the survive in the moment stage anymore. You are certain that you can set some goals and get there. So you want to allow exploration through vision boards, perhaps. A vision board, again, something you can Google, but a vision board is something where you think about where you want to be in 5 weeks or 5 months or 5 years, and you find graphics that support that vision where you want to be. So you prominently put it somewhere in your house or your workspace so you're constantly reminded that that's what I'm working towards. Just having some dreams and aspirations, taking the time to stop and reflect about what you want to do and what you want to aspire to do. And definitely what we talked about last time, setting some goals, finding the pathways, finding the tools and the support people, having that positive self-talk that you can get to that future goal. All of those are great ways to strengthen your future self-identity. Self-identity and self-reflection are so tightly connected. It takes us all the way back to the roots of our tree. Think about what makes me me. That's recognizing that you, within your family, within your workplace, you're unique. So what makes you you? What do you need not just to survive, but what do you need to thrive? And that question I keep asking you, what are you feeling? Being able to identify what you're feeling and maybe know why. Was it something from the environment? Was it something internal? Stopping and pausing and thinking about what does matter most to you. Really being reflective on that and putting that maybe as part of your goal. And then it comes back to another root. What is my routine and can I change my routine so that I can shift and change my self-identity? I love this graphic. May we grow back not to what was, but instead towards what we can become. If you grew up with any adversity or trauma or a lot of stress, a lot of times we feel like we're stuck back there. We're this tree that's been cut down. But in fact, by creating and using the collective well-being tree, understanding your own reflection and regulation, building really strong relationships with other people and good routines, understanding the trunk of the tree and how to express and regulate and identify all your emotions, you will grow back to what you can become. The reflection question here is what part of your self-identity is strong or which piece needs to be stronger? And then the action step is go back a couple of slides and answer all those self-reflection questions that I gave you in this video. It'd be a great way to take an action step along with that reflection. Thank you for joining me. I will see you next time for the conclusion of this series.